Shalom, peace. How y'all doing? I'm making this video right now to review a segment of I Show Speed's visit to Algeria during his African tour, right? And as we know, the African tour has been getting rave reviews about how much love he's getting, how he's being treated so well and accepted by the people there. And it's when we get to this point of North Africa, for some strange reason, we start to see discrepancies in that narrative. We start to see a difference in treatment. We start to see a difference in the behavior, right? And let me make this clear from the beginning. Most of the people in North Africa have treated him very well, with respect, hospitality, majority of the people, right? But my reason for making this video is, people like to say when it comes to subject matters such as bigotry, racism, prejudice, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature when it comes to ethnicities and all that. They tend to say, well, not everyone in that race or that particular group behaves that way. And it's very, very true. They're not all bad. There are many good people, and depending on what group you're talking about, they say there are many good people. And that's true. That's true for every group of people. There are good and there are bad examples among them all. Now, I use that word good loosely, right? I guess I should say decent. There are decent and there are bad people everywhere. The reason why I say I use that word good loosely is because a good person, and I put good at a higher status than decent. Decent is you not partaking in bad behavior, right? That's what decency is. But goodness is not only not partaking in bad behavior, but exposing bad behavior and going a step further, standing up to those who are exhibiting bad behavior. That's what a good person would do. A good person would stop, or at least attempt to stop, the bad behavior of those bad people in their community. So when people say, oh, they're not all bad, some of them are good, some of them are decent, right? They're not good, right? For example, during slavery, African Americans suffered a lot. The majority of the European population here in America, they had no problems with the way African Americans were treated. It was a small, select few that did, right? But not all of the Europeans in America had slaves, right? Some of them were just hard-working, hard-earning people, and they didn't have anything to do with the slavery, but they weren't doing anything to stop it. So I say they were decent European. They were decent, right? They minded their own business, took care of their families, they worked hard, they didn't ask for handouts. That's what a decent person does. Lives their life, don't make any ripples, stay in your own lane type of person, right? So they were decent, but they weren't good because they did nothing to stop the bad behavior that was going on in their faces day in and day out. The only good Europeans in America during slavery were the abolitionists, okay? Those were the good people, right? People like John Brown. John Brown was a good man, comparatively speaking, or he did good. He did good things, and he went above and beyond being a decent man because he could have lived his life in peace and harmony because no one was oppressing him. No one was enslaving him or threatening to do so to him. But he could not stand by idly and watch as his fellow the fellows in his community, whether they were citizens or not, right? He could not stand by idly and watch them be treated the way they were treated. So he was proactive and said, hey, I'm going to stop it. And he did more than a lot of blacks during slavery, right? A lot of free blacks. A lot of free blacks were not trying to stop slavery. They were just glad they weren't a slave. But they weren't trying to stop it. John Brown was neither a rich man. He was neither, he wasn't in the class, but he just something in his moral composition would not allow him to do so. And mind you, he had children, he had a wife, he had a family to think about. But he could not hold his head high in front of his sons and in front of his wife and witness these things going on and not try to do something. And we all know what happened to John Brown. His own people took him out for trying to help Negroes during slavery. And I say all that to say this. When you stand idly by while atrocities or misbehavior or things that are going on toward other people who are well-meaning, who are genuine and sincere with you, and you stand idly by while the mob accosts them and assaults them with projectiles and water bottles or whatever, you're not a good person. You may be decent because you're not throwing water bottles, but you're not a good person, okay? So, with that being said, I'm reviewing this. I've already reviewed it, but I'm going to analyze it for you guys today and show you how the people who are defending the behavior of the so-called ultra fans in Algeria are just as bad as those who were throwing bottles. Why? Because they dismiss the bad behavior, because they don't want to bring shame to their nation. But if you didn't want to bring shame to your nation, you should have stood up for the bad behavior of your fellow nationals. You should call them out and say, hey, we don't condone this behavior. We do not support them. We condemn this wholeheartedly, and we sincerely apologize that you were treated this way in our country under our watch. You have to realize, everywhere speed goes, there are local guides. I repeat, there are local tour guides who are supposed to help him navigate through that country, right? They're supposed to give him heads up, like, hey, check this out, brother. These people don't like cameras. Apparently no one told him this. They let this man walk into this hostile environment. And you can't tell me these Algerian tour guides did not know what was about to happen, because the way they were treating Speed in this stadium, I guarantee you, they've been doing this to a lot of people for a long, long time. The guy even admitted it. But let me proceed and you can see for yourself.
No, facts. I need a hot tea, bro. Hey.
You know what's crazy, guys?
Hot tea?
Everywhere we go, when I'm with Junior and the crew, I'm the older. He's the oldest one.
I get mad when they treat me like that, too.
I'm like, nah, man. Bro, y'all need a wheelchair from the airplane? What?
Now I'm going to get a little closer so you guys can see. All right. But just like here, everyone in this stadium is filming, okay? Whether it's phones or cameras, everyone is filming. Yet not everyone has had water bottles, full water bottles. Let's not make this mistake of not being fully descriptive of what happened. They were throwing full water bottles, okay? I've seen people knocked out cold by getting hit in the right way with a full water bottle. It's almost like you're getting punched in the face, okay? Think about what must be going through your mind when you take a full water bottle and throw it as hard as you can at an individual person, at an individual. Think about that. Now, that's one person. Think about if you're in a crowd of people with that same like mentality, that they don't have an issue with taking full water bottles and throwing them with all their might toward a person who has done nothing wrong to them, that is coming to their country to promote it, to show its best sides. Mind you, he's not going to slums unless the people take him there. He's showcasing these countries in a way that will boost their tourism, that will bring honor and respect to their cultures, right? And this is why this really irks me so bad, because there are sincere, well-meaning young men like Speed, especially among us who are melanated and considered black, right? We try to go to these places because they advertise it as being so hospitable. But when we get there, we get bananas thrown at us. We get called make monkey noises. You know, we get called the N-word. And for some strange reason, none of this happened in sub-Saharan Africa. But let's continue. Mind you, Speed's cameraman, Speed's team is not the only people filming, right? As soon as he walks in, people have cameras not only filming him, apparently they were using those phones to film the game, film people's reaction, the crowd, because that's what people do at public events. Mind you, he didn't break any laws by filming anyone because it's a public event. Okay? When you come out in the public, you're allowed to be filmed. Yes. Let's continue.
I wouldn't mind that. Them wheelchairs. But the people that ride in them wheelchairs, they be so arrogant. They never...
What does this guy have? A camera. Wow. I wonder how many bottles were thrown at him. This guy has a huge camera. Look at that camera. It's bigger than his freaking head. No one's throwing bottles at him. Let's see what size camera Speed has. What? Speed doesn't have a camera? What? You mean to tell me all Speed has is an Algerian football team shirt? Like, he's respecting them. He's showing honor and respect to their team. All he has is that nappy hair and that black skin. No cameras now. Let's continue.
Smile. I would be smiling.
I've counted at least 5 cameras since he walked in. No one is throwing water bottles at those people. If this was about them being filmed and that's why they did it, then he would have walked into water bottles being thrown at the people who are there already filming them. Let's not fall for the bullshit, folks. We've been dealing with this colonial bigotry and supremacy for almost half a millennia. And I don't know if it's just me being from Alabama. You know what I'm saying? But my bigotry meter, my racial response, my racial spider senses, they tend to be extra sensitive. So you can't get this stuff by me. I'm from deep in Alabama. I can't go no further south than where I am in Alabama, right? The deep, deep south. So I don't know if my brothers and sisters who live up north in the Midwest, you know, they've been up there for several generations, and they tend to be a little bit more, you know, they tend to give the benefit of the doubt a bit more. But when you're from somewhere like Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and you've been there and you still there, you know, you tend to know, hey, bro, there ain't about no damn filming them. Believe that, because they was getting filmed before you walked in there. Let's continue.
If someone was pushing me around the airport, I would be telling everybody around.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Is this a whole group of people with cameras filming? Now, Speed walked in, of course, the attention is on him. He's a celebrity. Everyone in the country was expecting him to show up, right? And And I'm sure people are going to bring up the fact, well, it can't be racism because the stadium is named Nelson Mandela Stadium. Okay. The American government named streets Martin Luther King. You think that stopped them from unaliving people on Martin Luther King? You know how many young black men have been profiled racially on Martin Luther King and unalived and pew-pewed down on Martin Luther King and Ralph Abernathy and all these streets named after black heroes? That don't stop them. They name a street after you and paint it with your blood. That's what they do. So let's not let the name of this stadium throw us off at the behavior of the people, right? Just like someone saying they love you, but they treat you like crap. Don't let them saying they love you blind you from their behavior. Okay? Let's continue.
Hey, I will be cheesing. They be so.
Come on, I'm starting to. Hold on, man. Does everybody in this stadium have a camera? Is everyone filming? Look at this young man. Look at the innocence on his face. He doesn't even know. He is oblivious to the hornet's nest of bigotry that he has just walked into. He's oblivious. He is, and mind you, I guarantee you 99.9% of these people claim that they fear the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, claim to be devout Muslims. Islam is a religion of peace. And they would try to separate their behavior from what they claim to believe. But where I come from, what you believe is a direct catalyst to the behavior that you exhibit. I mean, just that's logic. What you believe will be a direct catalyst. It will be a direct cause to your behavior. But the more this plays, the more cameras I see in the hands of the people in this stadium. No one is warning him. Hey, brother, these ultras don't like being filmed. They pull out. Why? Because they know what's about to happen. And they want to see it. They want to document it so they can go home and laugh at this brother. This is what bigots do. They pretend to be decent and humane in public, but when they go home, it's N-word this, it's coon that, it's jigaboo this, black cat that, Kafir this, right? At home. And when we're not around. Well, a lot of times when we're around. But they know what's going to happen. That's why they're filming it. But I'll let you guys keep giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to do it. And I wouldn't have never set my brother up to walk into that hornet's nest. And that's why I'm blaming the tour guide. And to a certain extent, I'm blaming a person on Speed's team who apparently had to organize with the tour guides. Because this is not the first time Speed faced such behavior in these countries, especially these lighter complected countries. It seems like the darker the people are, the more humane they behave toward guests. It seems like the lighter the people are, the less humane they behave toward guests. I don't know, I may be wrong. Tell me if you observe something else.
Angry in them wheelchairs? They're not wheelchairs, they're like push cars.
Look at all these cameras. Look at all, brother. I just see 50 people with cameras and phones? Talking about cameras of every size and hue. From Polaroids to full-size shoulder mount film cameras. They're there filming. No one has thrown a bottle yet at any of them. But they have the one thing in common. They're all the same complexion. So the only thing that's out of place is Speed. He's the only one there, and his crew, they're the only ones there of a different complexion. And now they're walking through the middle of the field. Come on now, people. Let's continue.
Damn, it's a big stadium.
Oh, Luke. The stadium is massive.
He always say things after I say.
What?
Let me go back a little bit.
Pushing me.
Because I want you guys to see.
I would be telling everybody around.
Right, I would be cheating.
Check this out. See all these cameras.
In them wheelchairs. They're not wheelchairs. They're like push cars. Something like that. Dang, it's a big stadium.
Oh, Luke. The stadium is massive.
He always say things after I say.
Just double checking, y'all. Let's go.
What? They throwing stones or something? Ah,
Why are they throwing
they
shit?
throwing stuff. Ah,
Oh no, they really throwing stuff. Look. What is that about?
I'm about to tell you what it's about. Daddy Speed. I'm about to tell you what it's about, Big Darren. About to tell you.
Dang, it's a big stadium.
oh, Luke. The stadium is massive.
He always say things after I say.
What?
Now, you see the people filming Speed. They have cameras. Everyone is filming. Now, mind you, those cameras that are pointed at Speed, they're going to get everyone in the stadium behind Speed. So it's not, Speed is the focal point, but those cameras are filming everyone on the other side of those cameras. Make no mistake, just like Speed's cameraman filming him, and we see all these people in the background, yeah. The same thing is true for these guys filming Speed. They're going to get all those people in the other background. Okay? Look at these cameras. Everyone has cameras. They're there, and you really think they're there? These people knew exactly what was going to happen when Speed came, and they wanted to get the footage. That's the case I'm making. Let's continue. And I'm going to bring out another point, too.
They throwing stones or something? Ah,
Why are they throwing
they
shit?
throwing stuff. Ah,
Oh no, they really throwing stuff. Look.
they throwing stones or something? Ah,
Why are they throwing
they
shit?
throwing stuff. Ah,
Oh no, they really throwing stuff. Look.
I'm trying to go back because I wanted to get the fact that they claimed that the people didn't like being filmed, and that's why they're throwing things at Speed. Mind you, Speed doesn't even have a camera. None of his bodyguards has cameras. Okay? There are maybe 2 people in Speed's crew with cameras. It's usually 2, maybe the guy that's controlling the drone, the coordinator, which is the slender ginger guy, the redhead guy, the tall, slender one that's always in the background, and Slips, which is his main cameraman. I think Slips may have an assistant, right? So maybe 2 or 3 guys with cameras. But the one, mind you, they're throwing bottles at Speed. His cameraman is usually 15, 20 feet in front of him. They're not throwing any bottles at his cameraman because Slips looks just like them. Slips has the complexion for the protection, right? And that's why I said earlier that I will have to put 80% of the blame on the tour guide who did not warn him that this occurs occasionally, right? And I'll put the other 20% on the coordinator who coordinated with that tour guide because he wasn't asking the right questions. But I know why he wasn't asking the right questions, because he doesn't have the same concerns that a person who's as dark as Speed is. He doesn't have those concerns. He can go anywhere in the world and no one treats him that way. And yet they act oblivious when we say, hey man, these people are racist, these people are bigots, they don't like me. Oh no, that's not it. They like you. They act oblivious, right? It's called gaslighting, right? Oh, you're just overreacting, you're being paranoid. That's not what it is. They just don't like cameras when they know full and well those people don't like you. That's why they're doing that. And Speed is no fool. He even said it. You don't throw water bottles at people you like. Let's continue.
Look, what is that about?
I'm not even on a rivalry team.
They don't like him or something?
I'm not even a.
What is that about? Somebody about to throw nothing at me. Oh, they said, dang, someone threw.
They literally is trying to harm this man. It's not like people are throwing trash or paper or some light thing just to show their disapproval. They're trying to assault this man, literally. And he has Algerian bodyguards because his main bodyguards that travel with him are mostly black. So wherever he goes in the country, he hires an auxiliary group of local bodyguards, like this guy. He's not on Speed's crew, right? He's a part of the Algerian crew that Speed hires. He's literally not only promoting these countries, he's literally not only coming there with sincerity and promoting their culture, right? He's bringing money to their economy. He's giving jobs to people, even if it's just for the few days he's there. There are many people who will be able to build their social media platforms based off the footage they get from being with Speed. That's why so many content creators are trying to get photo ops with him and collab with him because his presence being the #1 streamer in the world will help them build their brands, you know? He has 50 million subscribers. So if they can rub elbows with him and get an extra 1,000 or extra 10,000 subscribers as a result, it would go very far into advancing their careers. So make no mistake, Speed is doing more to promote these countries than the actual government is. He's doing more to promote these countries than the people in the stands who are actually doing everything they can to make their country look bad because they don't care. This is how they behave. They're not going to stop being who they are just because Speed is there, right? He's just going to provide them with a bigger target and someone of a higher status that they can shame. Because what is it to a bigot to shame someone who's low on the totem pole? You're low on the totem pole. You're nothing. But to shame and ridicule and treat negatively a person on the status of a Speed, come on now. That's what they went. They ready for that. That's what gets their blood boiling to let someone on Speed status know, hey, you still a N-word. You still a blackie. You still not like us. Right? Let's continue.
Hell no, we gotta get out of here.
What's going on? Is that like a... Why is Henry smiling?
Are you pulling stuff?
Daddy Speed, you asked a good question. Why is Henry smiling? And you're in a good position to ask Henry this question when you see him. Why were you smiling in Algeria when they were throwing the bottles? And remember what I say if you see this video. And tell me if I'm right in the comment section. Henry is going to tell you, I warned them. I told them this was going to happen. And that smirk, that smile that Henry has is and he's not smiling because he told Speed that. Because Henry respects the operation Speed has going on. And Henry probably told that coordinator who hired the tour guide That's just my speculation. That may be what Henry is taking, because Henry's getting hit with the bottles too. He's a bodyguard. Any threat that comes to Speed, Henry has to deflect it. So he's not smiling because you know that smirk, man, I told you this was gonna happen. Right? Because I guarantee you, Henry, he's on his phone, he's doing research, and he's seeing how they treated others. But Henry's he's loyal. He's going to do what Speed says, and if Speed wants to walk into the gates of hell, Henry's going to be the one to say, "Man, you know it's hot down there." And guess what? But I'm with you. That's just what I get from watching Henry and Rudy, right? That's what I get from watching these guys. So this is what I think happened. And I don't think they told Speed this. And maybe if they did, Speed is such a genuine person, he would have given the people the benefit of the doubt. And he still probably would have went. But I'm pretty sure Henry probably communicated this to the coordinating crew, which don't look like Speed and don't have the same concerns that Speed would have, or a person who looks like Speed would have. So they'll just let you walk into a Klan rally because there's no threat to them. And then when you get there, like, oh, I thought these were good old boys. I didn't know they would do that. They said we were welcome and whoop de whoop de whoop. Yeah, that's probably where Henry's smiling at. Let's continue.
Watch out, man.
Oh, they getting hit.
I know why they throwing
But what? No, they don't. We ain't supposed to do that.
Because they're diehard fans.
I know what.
Because if you don't support them, they don't like that.
Not one bottle has hit the cameraman. The cameraman has not had to dodge one bottle. He's getting steady shots. Why? Because they're aiming at Speed. They're not aiming at him. He's not running. He's not dodging. Okay? Now, maybe they have a bodyguard protecting him from the bottles so he can get good shots. I don't know. More often than not, you can't see the cameraman when he's filming. But that's just my speculation. The bottles aren't hitting him. And if he had a bodyguard guarding him from those bottles, he would be reacting the way that Speed is, by dodging them, because guess what? Some of those bottles are getting close to home. So, but the cameraman, he's not dodging anything. So why are they saying that it's because of the filming? That's what I want to know. It's not because of the filming. It's because the people are bigots, and that's what they do when they see different people, especially Black African descent people.